Hey guys, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the rumoured to be cancelled Project Horizon at Alton Towers. Ignore the location, I'm not going to explain it, I'm just going to swipe to the next one. Let's go! Project Horizon was first spotted in planning documents submitted by Alton Towers in September 2022, describing a large show building housing a new ride. The sheer size and scale of the building screamed indoor roller coaster, and Intamin were heavily rumoured to be behind the project from the very start, with a whole variety of themes flying around. Based on the codename, Project Horizon was a real-life space mission which revolved around placing US assets on the moon, and initial speculation certainly pointed towards the ride being space-themed. But as time went on, strong links to the park's former ride, the Black Hole, started doing the rounds online, as Alton Towers was firmly focusing on resurrecting old rides, with Nemesis Subterra reopening, the park's iconic Nemesis roller coaster undergoing a revamp and a new name, and Ripsaw being replaced with a modern, sleek upgrade. All three rides not offering anything new to the park's lineup from a guest attraction standpoint, but simply keeping up appearances all the same. By the end of 2022, a whole variety of themes had gone through the rumour mill, including an AI themed ride and a steampunk themed ride. What all the rumours had in common was that they were all original ideas, until one particular IP, okay maybe two, popped up in the rumour mill. With the focus on bringing new IPs to Merlin Entertainment's property during Scott O'Neill's spell as Merlin CEO, it was strongly thought that Project Horizon was at least considered at some stage to be turned into an IP, with the park looking through a variety of options. If our research is to be believed, the park later decided on an exploration and adventure theme, with a mock-up video by the manufacturers highlighting a new indoor coaster experience. But there were two IPs rumoured to be linked to the ride, which included Uncharted and Jumanji in its very early stages of concept. And the coaster was rumoured to be a multi-dimensional indoor roller coaster featuring a tilt track and other unique features which hadn't featured on a UK roller coaster before. There was a heavy focus on theming, which has certainly been a focus for Alton Towers, with Wicker Man, the Curse at Alton Manor and Forbidden Valley already excelling in that department as arguably the three strongest themed areas of the entire theme park. Now, not much is known to the wider public, myself included, about what happened next, but what we do know is that Chessington World of Adventures opened a Jumanji land of their own in May 2023, and despite plans being available for a while prior to the announcement, the theme of the land was officially announced in January 2023. So that certainly meant that Project Horizon's theme wasn't going to be the same, and with Portaventura opening Uncharted, would they really go down the same route with another European park so close, already implementing that same IP? More recently, Chessington also announced an indoor coaster of their own, which is set to open in 2027, rumoured to be Minecraft themed. And with no movement or construction on Project Horizon, which was meant to open in 2025, many assumed that indoor roller coaster had been moved to Chessington instead. And whilst that may be somewhat true to a degree, they were in fact always two separate projects. Horizon's rumoured multi-dimensional coaster hadn't been shipped off to Chessington to be turned into a Minecraft coaster. They were always two separate projects, entirely, despite seemingly being the same ride system originally. But after recent developments, it seems Project Horizon, while still heavily linked to Intamin, ended up being turned into a different kind of ride system altogether. And with both IPs exhausted, it was back to the drawing board with an original idea for Alton Towers. But a different ride, a Dark Coaster clone. Now, the system was expected to be similar to Dark Coaster, which resides at Busch Garden, Williamsburg, a compact indoor multi-launch coaster using switch tracks, with precise show synchronization and lots of cool indoor theming elements. The ride was going to be highly themed, but whilst we cannot confirm the ride was ever going to be Jumanji themed or Uncharted themed at any stage, the general aesthetic of that rockwork, vine, leaves, temple, bizarre architecture, you know, that exploratory vibe, and I'm fairly confident the theme was a front runner for what Project Horizon was going to be. So with the theming aesthetic somewhat decided, and it would have been decided at an early stage, what could the original theme of the ride be now it's not an IP? Now, Jumanji features a relic, the Jaguar Shrine Jewel, that exploratory theme which was highly rumoured to be featured in Project Horizon, but there was a focus on a relic or a supernatural focal point which could very well have been the theme for Project Horizon. And with Alton Towers' newfound fascination with theming, if albeit a little lost on Toxicator, I can imagine that if indeed a multi-dimensional coaster was budgeted for originally, due to cutbacks, which included a Galactica retheme being cancelled last Christmas, then a cheaper model such as a Dark Coaster clone would have left a hell of a lot more room in the budget for theming. So, imagine things such as this in the concept art, and perhaps this in the final design. But it is Merlin after all, so probably we end up with, well, this. Towers do love a good barrel, don't they? If indeed the ride system was downgraded due to budget constraints, then this would also tie in with our interview with John Wardley, who said that Secret Weapon 9 would feature something we've never seen before on a ride. The rumoured multi-dimensional coaster had a tilt track. Well, we've seen that before. Dark Coaster is nothing groundbreaking or new, so that leads me to believe that SW9 never was Project Horizon in the first place, despite much bigger YouTubers confirming this to be the case. So much speculation that Towers had dropped the Secret Weapon name. Not for me. Project Horizon was never intended to be anything other than a family-themed indoor experience plonked in the weirdest location of them all, next to an empty Dungeons building and David Walliams world. Which also begs the question, if it was indeed going to be adventure themed, were there bigger plans afoot for the Dungeons building and for the adjacent David Walliams world? I guess we'll never know. In early 2025, with no movement on the project, no progress on site, no updates and even management going quiet about the project, industry insiders started mumbling that the project had been shelved or cancelled entirely. Fast forward to mid-2025 and there's been not one mention of the project by the park, no movement in any of the planning documents, and it seems the planning permission submitted to the council will seemingly just expire. But rising costs, shifting priorities within Merlin along with an internal restructuring are all plausible reasons that probably meant that the ride didn't fit in with the current direction of the company and its assets within the introduction of a new CEO. So there we have it, my little speculation, rumour and discussion about Project Horizon. Now everything that you've seen in this video could be completely subjective. There's things that I've been working on for a long time, speaking to people, finding out what's going on that I'm pretty sure are pretty accurate in the video, and then there's other things where I've just put 2 and 2 together and got 42. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's nice to do like talk to camera stuff again, but I'm doing it a little bit differently. I know you guys want some of that content to come back, and trust me, it will in small doses, but I've got to think about evergreen and longevity of these videos as opposed to flash in the pan stuff. That's just not me anymore. But thank you so much for checking it out, really do appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!